السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Let's chill with the group. Yeah.
It says that over here on the table, so it's better to report.
Um.
Move closer.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Why don't you turn it horizontal? That way it's a better.
Because I didn't set it up that way from the beginning, so it won't adjust.
You do so. You just turn these and put it in
The thing is, the sounds from there.
the mics on the bottom. What if we flip it around? 100.
This is an experiment right now.
What if you turn it around? It should rotate automatically.
No, it's locked. It's locked because of the way that it was done. It had to be, for whatever reason, it's doing that.
The other. This is another thing. Here, check this out. You can also do this. That way, at least get the speaker loud. I wouldn't put this in front of it because it's a speaker. I would-
How's the visual?
It's good. I would use a different. Don't use the black one.
Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We just wanted to give like a visual of the methodology of Imam Ibn Rushd. Introducing this into the class is experimental at this point, which is introducing the board. So pardon for that. So overall, Imam Ibn Rushd is concerned with one thing: is different of the scholars points of reconciliation points of reconciliation, and then points, right, of divergence. Here in divergence, it means there are two opposite positions. The reconciliation is positions in which there's a common ground between them. Right? So the differences are going to be of these two types. Points which are really reconciled because there's a common ground between them, but it may appear that they're divergent, but it may appear that they clash. But in reality, there is a common ground between them, and it becomes a matter of perspective. And then there's the issue of divergence, means there is no common ground. Each is going in its own way. So that's the first. That Imam Ibn Rushd is looking at the differences, but not just differences in general. Those things which seem to have been in Islamic discourse or in Islamic legal discourse, those things which seem to have been most differed over. Those things which, if students were to study them or the average Muslim were to encounter them, you may find some confusion. So he clarifies for you that reality by saying, hold on a second, how are we going to work with these apparently different positions? And so, as a methodology, we can always use this outside of fiqh. And this is something that we talked about before. Where's the common ground? How can we reconcile between positions? And then what is the point at which there's divergence so that there is no reconciling anyway? Right? It's just, we agree to differ, that type of thing. So, in that event of exploring the differences, we have another level of methodology. One is breaking the conversation up. The conversation, we break it up into majority and we break it up into minority. Okay? So, the majority position is basically numerical majority. And the minority position is a numerical minority, meaning that this has more, this has less. The general tendency in Islamic scholarship is to say we go with the majority. But it's not always the case, right, that the majority is absolutely right. It's not always the case. But the general tendency is that, the right tends to go with the majority. That's the general tendency. It's not always the case. So Imam Ibn Rushd will look at the ulama's opinions, and after you have a bunch of scattered opinions, and he brings them together and he organizes them, majority, minority. So here goes the majority, here goes the minority. And then, so once he does that, then he goes into the reasons underlying, right, the reasons underlying difference, or differences in this case, right? So that's important. Second thing is the evidences. Right. These two things go together. So 1 and 2 as a classification system is not good. It's better to just leave the dots here because we don't want to put this one before this one. They actually are two sides of the same thing. He goes into the reasons underlying the differences and the evidences. And so by looking at the thinking that the scholars have on the evidences, we're going to get to the point of understanding where they have a reconciliation point and where they diverge. And so this is the general tendency, of where he's at in terms of his methodology. And this can be used between people on the everyday, like in everyday conversation. How's that?
It's good.
Where's the breaking point where
The whole vertical.
you can see up here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the general tendency. So I want you to kind of keep this in your mind. One is that we have a conversation about a topic. And in this case, the topic is about what Islam says, about salah, or what Islam says about a particular act of salah. So if there's differences that occur, right, the issue is at what point is there reconciliation, at what point do they kind of see eye to eye, and it's just a matter of perspective. If it's just a matter of perspective, what point do they actually diverge? Right? They don't come together. And there's a core difference between them. Right? There's a core difference between them. Here, there's a common ground. Right? Here, there's a common ground. So, once we have the scattered opinions, we have scattered opinions all over the place. Right? We have scattered opinions all over the place. So he breaks them up. So then he tries to decide, where's the majority, where's the minority, that type of thing. Add here, whatever. So even you may be able to say that, you may be able to classify another group. In other words, he groups up all the data that's there. He organizes it. The data is representative of a position. This is a position. This is a position. This is a position. So he organizes the various ideas that are there about one topic. So you can have 3 topics that the scholars take. So he organizes that, and then so he said, okay, where are they reconcilable? Where do they see eye to eye? Right? Even if it's a matter of perspective, but in reality, there's a common ground between. Then, okay, who diverges? Who goes against the grain? So that they don't see eye to eye, period. So that there's a core difference. If there is a core difference. And then, so for instance, then he'll come up in the majority-minority, positions. Sometimes even within minority, there may be subgroups, majority subgroups, right? Or they may agree on one point and then disagree on another point, even though there's a majority. So he's very systematic in that regard, very systematic. And so the general tendency, especially when you start talking about the ulama of Azhar, is to regard the majority opinion. That's the general tendency. So that keeps everybody kind of focused. Scholarship doesn't just go majority, minority. Scholars, they go into the details, see what's the best opinion for the community. But for the general public, kind of seeing where the majority is at is the safe ground, so to speak. And again, the majority is not always right, but the tendency is that's what the Muslims are practicing. As long as it has evidence, it's okay. And then there may be some differing over the strength of the evidence. So that's another conversation, right? The whole issue of majority, minority, when to practice, when not to practice. That's a different conversation. We don't want to go into that. So just let's assume that the evidence is legit for the majority, and we leave it at that. We won't enter into the other conversation. So then once we're in majority, minority, once we're at that level of classifying the different positions, Then we look at the reasons why there's a majority, the reasons why there's a minority, right? And what are the evidences, and where do they come together, and where do they diverge? That's the general tendency that we find in Imam Ibn Rushd's methodology. And you can, like I said, you can use this in anything when you deal with people or whatever. If you have this framework, you will never go wrong in terms of how you deal with ideas. Because you yourself already have a system of how you're gonna deal with differences of opinion, and you have an understanding of how to work with that. Right? And it doesn't mean that you're always right. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it gives you guidance, right? It gives you a sense of direction of how to deal with the chaos and the madness of different ideas, and to start to organize yourself in such a way that you can be able to function. So that's the general tendency. So what we'll do right now is we'll pause, and then we'll come back with the book reading, and that way you can digest this. We'll pause for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll come back, inshallah.